And we are live. Queuing up the theme song. Theme song is queued up. Press play.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for that. You got a question for RL? It's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting real. Time to get down. You gonna feel good now.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality Radio, the truth about happiness. I'm your host, happiness specialist, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, Rebecca L. Norrington. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for this show. Thank you for your emails. This is going to be a hot show today. Is it possible to find meaning in the meaningless? Trick question, I will admit. Happiness specialist, who the hell does she think she is? Well, let me just give you my definition of happiness, which is the ability to maintain and sustain a personal energy, a personal vibration of peace and contentment, regardless of what happens. It has nothing to do with your circumstances, don't matter, your health, your relationships, none of it matters. It is, are you able to emit an energy of contentment? And when I say contentment, I'm not talking about, oh, got everything done, now I'm content. No, when I talk about content, I'm talking about energy of peace and contentment, which is a foundation, which is rooted. What are you rooted in? And it always starts off with the same. The suffering, the unhappiness, the discontentment comes from the programming. It comes from the perspective. It comes from a programmed perspective. I was online today. What did I read? Oh, this global guru, you would know not everybody would know his name, but he talks about being great. He talks about you have to wake up at 5 a.m. He talks about reading a lot of books, about smiling and saying thank you. I promise you I get it. But reading books that even if the author is programmed, they're going to write a book that is coming from a program. Speaking of books, this is my latest. It's called Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. This is on Amazon. And in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. And again, happiness is a practiced skill. Contentment, inner peace are all practiced skills. It's a skill like anything else. And when I talk about skill, it's talking about mastering a skill. Mastering, you can master being a debater, you can master being a speaker, you can master being a chef, an architect, landscaper, athlete. We've got professional. We have a game 7 in the NBA. Game 7. You don't think these athletes practice? It is all about practice. Happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice. Inner peace is a practice. And it is an ongoing practice. You never, got my grade, let's keep it moving. No, if yours truly has to practice, and I mean, I was today already, if there is a trigger, if there is a button that can be pushed, just know that it is all coming from a program. All buttons, all triggers, all judgment comes from a program. You weren't born like that. You did not pop out of the womb knowing how to judge, knowing how to have expectations. I was listening to somebody today, one of my favorites online. Shout out to NJF. I was listening to one of my favorites, commentators, and he was talking about being disappointed in a person. The feelings were hurt. Well, again, that comes from you don't want your feelings hurt. You don't want a disappointment. You don't want to have your heart broken for the rest of your life. There is a solution, and the solution is eliminate all expectations. Now, the first thing I hear is, "Oh, that's hard. Oh, Rebecca, that's normal to have expectations." No, having expectations is another program. All programs subtract from your happiness. All programs subtract from an energy of contentment. All programs subtract. And when I say 56 programs, I'm still counting. There's more than 58, 56. I think I'm up to 60, but I digress. It all comes back to, what do you value? What does a person value? And when you value peace and you value happiness and you value this, people, happiness, joy, it's the same vibration. Okay. It's the same energy. It is a calming, a peaceful, a strength. There is power. There is power in the ability to emit contentment. That's power. Discontent is easy, and it's also another program. Before I go on, I share this at the beginning of every show. Google it's called the 5 most common regrets of the dying, or 5 regrets of the dying. And it was done by a hospice nurse. The 5th regret of these people that have a limited amount of time on the planet, from days to weeks. I just one of my friends, associates, 3 weeks ago, saw her in the hospital. She was being put in hospice. A week later, she's dead. When the topic of today's show is it possible to find meaning in the meaningless? And let me explain myself, because what do you mean, Rebecca? Oh, there's meaning. Of course, there's meaning. Oh, put your seatbelts on, because that's just another program. Meaning. What is meaning? I understand the energy of it. I understand the energy of it. I understand the story around it. I understand the thoughts around it. I understand what the mind is going to tell me what meaning is. But I'm here to say, what looking out into the universe, looking out into space. Who entity decides, or what entity says that is meaning? The planets, the red holes, the black holes, red pill, black pill, white pill, green pill, the black holes. What is the meaning of any of that? Looking out into nature, looking at our animal, looking at the animals. There's functions, but this meaning, this has so much meaning. This is meaningful. My cause. When people have certain causes, You know what I'm talking about, from the animal rights to the global warming, all the meaning. It's so meaningful, this cause. I'm here to tell you that all of this stuff is meaningless. Oh, I know. I know. In 5 years, what's the meaning? What's the meaning? What is the meaning going to be in 10 years, in 100 years? What is the meaning? That's a mind. The mind does not like that. The mind is going to resist. The mind is going to rebel. The mind is going to say that's not true. The mind is going to come up with so many stories of how meaningful all of this shit is, how meaningful this life is. And let me say, this is meaningless, so I just do nothing. That's not the message. That's not the share. That's not the takeaway. If you study history, or even if you don't study history, just Google the top, I don't know, top 5, top 10 kings, leaders, emperors in history. Look at this. Hold on a second. No, that's this side. This side needs to go up. What the hell? See, when you get your hair cut and it's only cut, even the haircut is meaningless. The ego wants to make it so meaningful. But to the past figures, and I'm talking about from the Genghis Khans to the Solomons, to the Buddhas, to all of the greatest leaders, the conquerors, the people that built the wall, the Great Wall of China, meaning the armies, so much meaning. However, what if I was taught at a very early age, right out of the womb, that all this life is, that all this is just an experience. That this short human life, human form, is only here to experience. Experience what? Experience the doing, experience the achievements, experience the goals, experience relationships, experience everything that life has to offer. Because when you're in another dimension, when you're not in this human form, there's no, you can't feel or touch or be stimulated. Well, no, but I'm just talking about this. Scratch that. I'm just talking about this human experience. That's it. The program is to put some more meaning to this human experience, that is more meaning than it is. I mean, the ego gets into it. The ego, the mind will get into all of the seriousness and all of the importance that this human is. And that comes from a speaker to a teacher to an influencer to people that create content. All of it with time, and it's a short period of time, very short. And by the way, time is an illusion. In a short period of time is going to be meaningless. In a short period of time, everything that was accomplished, everything that was experienced, every story from the news stories all the way to today, from walking on the moon to the latest war, all meaningless. And the practice is to know, trust, and believe that everything is so meaningless. Why? Why do I say it's meaningless? Of course, the mind doesn't want to believe that it's meaningless. The mind doesn't want to be convinced, oh, this is the meaningless. The mind doesn't want to hear it. And let me tell you one of the things that is one of the biggest challenges. Let me back up a little bit. One of the biggest challenges is detaching from the mind, detaching from the beliefs and the ideas and the judgments of the mind. There is a way of living where the mind and the stories and and all of it is, the practice is to detach from it. The practice is to observe it. The practice is to relax. The practice is to let go and know that everything that is happening, everything that will happen, everything that is unfolding is happening in order, is happening by design. So when I say meaningless, I know it's a difficult concept. It is a difficult concept, but it's a difficult concept just for the mind. And you and I, we are not our minds. We are not the mind. We are not the thoughts. We are not the stories. Why is everything so difficult? Everything is so, why can life feel so difficult? It's because of the program beliefs. I was talking to someone who older, elderly, and they were talking about feeling upset, bothered because they've lost a lot of weight. They probably within, I don't know, 5 years, they've lost, maybe from 150 pounds. Now they're down to 110. No reason for it, it's just life. It's just, there's no illness. It's just, a time when you get to a certain age, sometimes you just start losing weight. There's no illness. That's what I want to say. And they've been bothered by the loss of weight for a long time, years, at least 2, 3, 4 years. And then they were telling me that they had a conversation with someone who also lost a lot of weight over time. And the question was asked, doesn't that bother you? Aren't you, what are you, how are you coping with this weight loss? And the answer was just a perspective. I'm grateful to wake up every single morning. I don't care how much I weigh. My weight means nothing. I've had a lot of surgeries. I've had medical complications. I could care less how much I weigh. It is a perspective. It is a perspective shift. And I'm here to say that nothing has to change in your life other than a perspective change, a perspective shift for you to experience more happiness. But back to the meaningless. Can you imagine at a very early age if if I was taught, if you were taught that the meaning of this life is practicing, especially because we had it when we were born, practicing and staying in the present moment. Life, the meaning is found in the moment, in the present moment. And when I say meaning, and I'm talking about meaning and meaningful and meaningless, it's all in the present moment. So if I'm in the past or if I'm in the future, know that all of that is just there. There is something off. There is something that needs to be adjusted because life is found in the present moment. The present moment, that's it. Not about tomorrow, not about yesterday. Someone asked me today, I was at the gym, and for a couple of weeks they were doing some remodeling, 2 weeks of remodeling. What did I do for 2 weeks? Well, I spent my time eating cookies. I did not go to another gym. I went once. Yeah, eating cookies. I just took a vacation. I took a hiatus. I exercised, but I didn't exercise in the same gym that we were, that is our community, is the community gym. Anyway, one of the members asked me, well, what did you do for 2 weeks? Which gym did you go to? And I said, however, listen to this. It was a trigger. It was a resistance because, I've said it more than once that I don't do rehashing. I don't do recapping. I don't do catching up. Oh, I got to think about what happened yesterday. Oh, let me tell you what happened 6 months ago. Oh, how was my Christmas? Oh, you just, but again, it's my practice to accept all of the robotic questions and all of the robotic conversation like God does, and just listen and respond without a judgment about the question, about the conversation. Oh God, a robot. Either you are a prisoner, either you are a prisoner of the mind, either you are a prisoner of the thoughts, either you are a prisoner of what's going on inside here, or you are able to distinguish the difference between the mind and awareness. The mind, which is a constant entity that never is quiet, that 99.9% is always yakking. There's always something to say. There's always a conversation. I don't know about you, but it's very difficult to have this quiet. And thinking that there is meaning in the thinking part. There's a difference between thinking, trying to come up with a solution. I mean, unless this is trigonometry or algebra or geometry, there is nothing to keep thinking about. Do you realize that the mind has taken over, that the mind has taken possession, or has attempted to, and usually it's 99% 99% positive, and I don't want to say positive, the word is, it's 99% accomplished taking over the mind. And so this, unless I'm researching, solving a problem, coming up with some kind of solution to some philosophical or mathematical problem. Forget the philosophical, because that'll just keep going in a loop. I mean, a scientific problem solution. Unless that is happening, the mind is constantly talking, communicating. And where is the meaning in this communication? Where is the meaning in what's going on inside of here? There is no meaning. It's just a programming. And there is a huge difference between programmed thoughts, programmed thoughts, programmed beliefs, programmed truths, and not. And you can feel the difference, but it is, I have to say, it is not an easy ride. The ride is bumpy. The ride is you got to hold on, because the ride is not calm and smooth all the time, especially when there is a time, especially when there is growth and there is expansion and there is more awareness. Getting to another level. When I say getting to another level, I'm talking about another level of behaving. This is how I used to act when I was in my teens. I used to act this when I was in my 20s. I used to act like this when I was in my 30s. There's another level of behaving when the truth is revealed, which is, it's all about the experience. And my favorite quote, you are not experiencing life itself. You are experiencing your mind. You're not experiencing life. You are experiencing your mind. And when I say the mind, know that the programmed mind, know that the mind, the ego, whatever you want to call it, the programming can only offer certain perspectives, especially if you don't practice widening, opening up, expanding perspectives. There's more than one perspective about everything that is experienced. There is more than one conclusion. There is more than one description, conclusion, theory about anything that is happening. And the perspectives are so vast, are so huge. They're infinite. We are all as different as our fingerprints, and our perspectives are different also. What do I do with this show? What do I do on this show is just share with you what's going to take you to another level of awareness, understanding, peace, and contentment. And it's not about what happens. And it's not about what happens to someone else either. I was talking to someone on the phone yesterday, and I feel bad for my mother. I feel bad because I feel sad. Well, this whole feeling bad and feeling sad, what is that? What does it accomplish? What does it even do? It is a useless, more than that, is a programmed statement. Oh yeah, I feeling bad, feeling sad for someone else. Oh my gosh, you can't get any more. You can't get any less and or more meaningless. Did that make sense? Practice letting go of the belief anything has meaning. What all of this does have is a destiny. All of this life experience has a destiny. The country has a destiny. I have a destiny. You have a destiny. Kobe Bryant had a destiny. Buddha had a destiny. Jesus had a destiny. Every creature has a destiny. A way that this life is going to unfold. And the programming is the problem. And the programming is infiltrated, is in around every corner, in every cell. That's programming. The practice is to look for, run to whatever feels uncomfortable. When I say feels uncomfortable, I'm talking about mentally feeling uncomfortable. Because the mental can also bleed into the physical, but there is a mental feeling of, because the mind wants easy. The mind wants easy. The mind wants the same. The mind does not want to be challenged. The mind does not want to be questioned. The mind wants to be believed. And I'm here to tell the mind, not my mind, the mind, that none of this, absolutely none of this, including this book, has meaning. Now it has information, meaning. It's all meaningless. Oh, I just love sharing a gift morning on a Sunday. Guess what? Life is meaningless. Get on board. Oh no, it's not. It's very meaningful. Well, if you feel that it's going to be meaningful, guess what? In 50 years, 100 years, it's still going to mean nothing. Yeah, I'm so mean. Oh, why do you have to be so hard with it? Why are you so hard for? Why do you have to be so direct? Why can't you hand out the message with a little bit of sugar? Impossible. That's the end of today's show. Let's recap. Is it possible to find meaning in the meaningless? Well, finding meaning is another program. And all of this is going to be here and it's going to be gone. One thing you can count on is that everything changes. Everything is growing. Everything is expanding. Everything is changing. So, every forms come and go. Everything changes. And what the world says and what the mind says is meaningful now is going to be meaningless in a blink of an eye. So let's get on the meaningless train right now. It even feels different. Oh, it means meaningless? Thanks. Well, that's the end of today's show. Thank you for listening to Reality Spirituality Radio, which is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And Reality Spirituality, wow, it's been over 15 years, over 700 shows. Yes, and even the show is meaningless. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on X at RL Norrington. LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality RealitySpirituality YouTube channel is growing. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. There are a lot of shorts on the YouTube channel. First book, Reality Spirituality: The Truth About Happiness, can be found on Amazon. That was published in 2014. But the latest book was 2024. Yes, I'm working on book 3 and book 4 now, but this is the latest, Program for Unhappiness. It's on Amazon, and in this book, I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from happiness. And also in this book, I list 26 behaviors that add to your happiness. Next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe, your conscious energy, which is always changing and always evolving, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner. Remember, happiness is a practice skill. Contentment is a practice skill. I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a meaningless week. Later, alligators.